hold on. There we go. All right, now we can start recording. Now we can start getting funky fresh. So for the listeners out there, every now and then, the middle class souls, we do record 2 shows in a week. We skip a week from time to time, given our hectic schedules, our lives as professionals, our personal lives, vacationing, and all the other stuff. So we did 2 shows 2 weeks ago. We didn't mention this last week. I was at the Ravens-Texans game. All right. About as cold as I've ever been in my fucking life. Let me tell you that. Jesus Christ. It was like, what are you giving a barf sign for?
Because that's what I do every day. That's what I do. I walk around in that every day. And you enjoyed a pleasurable experience. You paid money. You literally paid probably my day's worth of paycheck in order to go do it for fun. Whereas that's just my life. And so I apologize. I just kind of balk and get a little bit of vomit in my mouth when, you regular peons experience life in an uncomfortable fashion and then whine about it. Especially when you elected to do it on your own free time by your own will.
I didn't think about it like that. Wasn't thinking about that stuff. So, first of all, it was a great day. I mean, just a phenomenal day. And I was so excited, so happy to be there. And after, tailgating for 4 hours, getting some drinks when we get in there, we watched about 30 minutes of warm-up and then, the player introduction, Star Spangled Banner, Ripken flips a coin, and about a handful of beers later, got to take a piss. All right. And I took a piss in the second and the third quarter, and the lines were about 100 yards long. I'm not shitting you. It's about a 20-minute wait. And I'm thinking, like, the second time around, I'm like, God damn, man, it's going to be another 20 minutes. I'm pissing away a lot of money, literally. You know what I mean? a lot of time ticking off that clock when I'm waiting to relieve myself. So the second time around, I get about 10 yards to the door, and a guy tries to pull a chat and cut. All right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So me and the guy behind me, who's a big old Southern boy, nice fella, nice guy, but just, kind of a big hulking lad who wasn't about to let it happen. And finally, this guy's playing like I don't hear anything. And I was like tapping him on the shoulder. And I was like, yo, like, oh, what? And then I was like, please don't double down and play dumb. I'm way too drunk and way too cold and way too bladder filled to put up with your bullshit right now. And he's like, oh, shit, it's all the way back there. Like, yeah, man, it's all the way back there. Sorry. So he hauls off. And literally 10 seconds later, another guy tries to do it to me. And I turn around and I was like, do I look like a schmuck? Am I a mark? Am I they're like, there's a fucking pushover who won't do shit. I'm standing in front of him. And I was just like, yo, the line's fucking back there. And this guy turns around and looks at me, looks at the end of the line, looks at me, looks at the end of the line. It's like, would it make you happy if I went all the way back there? And I was like, it would make me happy if you weren't a fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of my face. And he turns around and walks away. I got a little round of applause from everyone around me. And then the big old Jeffro was like, hey man, you want a shot of Fireball? I was like, I hate that shit. There was a day where I liked it. I drank myself out of it, but given the occasion, fuck it. Give it to me. Glug, 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 glug. Yeah. Whew. Nice. Man, I was so fucking hot.
Well fucking done.
Would that make you happy? No one wants to wait in line. It's a pain in the ass. And I get it, man. 100 yards. The thing of it was steadily moving. You weren't standing in place for more than a couple seconds. It's just, it's an assembly line. But still, no one wants to do that. But stop being a fucking jerk.
Dude, well done. I mean, this is where, being, 130 some pounds and 5'6" really doesn't come in handy. I mean, you got to hope to God that Jethro isn't just going to share his Fireball, but he's going to share his might and his muscle with you as well if the occasion occurs. But well done. I'm happy. I'm proud of you. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to think when I'm throwing the left, when I'm missing with the left, Jeffro's hitting with the right. That's what you're hoping for.
I feel like it's one of the few times that just your blind rage just worked out without having to get physical.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. and I was just wasn't loaded, but just drunk enough and just agitated enough.
Well,
Because I sat there, you committed so much time to that line. I'm about 15 minutes in. You can see they have monitors. You can hear what's going on. You can see what's going on, but it's still the playoffs.
well,
Playoffs.
what's the point of being at the game live if you're just gonna watch it on a closed fucking circuit TV set any fucking way? I remember doing that at Orioles games, like especially like I don't think I've ever seen the 8th inning of a baseball game because I'm always in line at the 7th inning to wait for the beer, and it takes that amount of time to fucking get up there, and it's like, whew, just got here in time. Okay, I'm trying to make my way back to the seat, and then it's like, what is it? 2 outs. Fuck. All right. Sit down. Better pound these 16 ouncers now.
We winning? We winning? Well, yeah. Either way, like I said, great day, amazing weather. God, I was so happy. Feet weren't wet, fingers were toasty. Ugh, God. And then they pulled that bullshit. But you had an interesting experience yourself, right? While you at a Young Williams jiu-jitsu class, right?
Well,
some younglings now have a future in analytic work.
No, well, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Taylor Swift has apparently been going to a lot of playoff football games herself here recently, and there's a lot of quote-unquote to-do about it. I haven't quite got... Have we even discussed this yet, Alan? You'd know better than I would, because you and I are we're kind of the Swifties of the group, if you want to...
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you legitimately asking if we knew if Taylor Swift was going to football games?
No, I'm asking if we've discussed this at all, because I know it's been a huge discussion since the whole, Kelsey Swift get-together started about mid-season. And I know there's been about a lot of kerfluffle about it on the internets, whether the NFL they just pandering now. They keep showing her on the TV screen. Well, they keep showing a pretty girl on the TV screen. How dare they? Show me decrepit Jerry Jones fucking stroking out, not knowing what's going on in his own fucking football game until probably the 4th quarter when the fucking Jack Daniels has finally thinned his blood enough for the clot to move its way through his brain. Gee, I'm going to be upset about Taylor Swift showing up for fucking 30 seconds a game. No, but Taylor Swift, she is going to bring young girl fans to the game, whether you like it or not, because girls that are interested in her are going to be interested in what she's interested in. And I finally saw this in the wild. Took William to his jiu-jitsu class. And the older kids are 13, so I don't know, 11 to 13. And all the 11 to 13-year-old girls before the class started were all huddled up, and they were talking about Kansas City Chiefs football. Patrick Mahomes, he's the best quarterback in the whole league. And Travis Kelce, he's the best tight end in the whole league. So there's no way they're going to be losing the Super Bowl. I mean, I've been watching them all season, and yeah, they had a couple rough spots, but they're definitely starting to get it back together now. I'm listening to them, and honestly, everything they were saying, though dumbed down and watered down, was not wildly inaccurate. I'm just as soon as I heard, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, I'm like, what? Well, yeah, actually, yeah, he is. I guess I can't really. Yeah, I can't argue that. And Travis Kelce, he's probably the best tight end in the league. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Probably his first. They're both probably first ballot Hall of Famers at this point. Fuck, man. She picked the right guy on the right team at the right time, and it's just moving forward. And again, I've never, ever in my life seen an 11 to 13-year-old girl talk about NFL football a day in my life, and I think we're probably all better for it. Yes?
Nah.
No?
Are we? I mean, I guess.
Well, maybe we won't be, but
Yeah.
the next generation will be. There's going to be a next generation of boys who will marry girls who are now interested in the NFL, which we've all had to convince our significant others to.
No, not me.
Well, okay, fair enough. I didn't really have to do a lot of convincing with Maria. I just had to expose her to it. But again, before me, she wasn't exposed to it. Now they're going to get exposed to the NFL at a young age. As guys, sports were just part of our DNA. Now we're doing a little bit of CRISPR action with the ladies of the world.
Yeah, young ladies are going to be interested in what Taylor Swift is interested in, and she's interested in tight ends. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, from a young age, I was interested in tight ends.
Fair.
Yeah. No, the only thing I do have to wonder, because it seems as though Jim Nance and Tony Romo have gotten just an unfair amount of Kansas City games, and you have to wonder if like Jim Nance in the production room is like, all right, just prep me. How many goddamn Taylor reaction shots are we going to get? A dozen? 15? Tony's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll comment on them. God damn, yeah. And the producer's like, yeah, you're going to have to, boys. Sorry. Part of the job description now.
It all just kind of boils down to, like, what does Travis Kelce do in a game? I mean, really? I mean, if he doesn't do jack shit, because the game, he had like 2 off games in a row, and you really didn't see her at all. And I don't have any problem with it. I keep seeing on Twitter, like, oh, MAGA hates Taylor Swift in the NFL now because I'm like, the Republicans hate this. I'm like, the conservatives. I'm like, okay, one, I'm in one of those 3 categories, and I don't care. I don't know anybody that genuinely cares. I almost feel like this is a manufactured.
No, since probably for the divisional round of the playoffs. I've seen like a montage of fucking Fox News clips of that being like, yeah, watch, she's gonna come out and endorse President Biden, and her boyfriend Mr. Pfizer are gonna fucking endorse or President Biden because they're liberal fucking hellions. Like, I've definitely seen a couple of those. A Maria Baratomo, I think, lost her shit to one. You know what I mean? Well, some of these bitches. So I mean, yeah, it is odd to me. It's this weird fucking dynamic where, like, you would think they would be like conservative gold. You know what I mean? They're fucking white and they're good looking, and fucking the guy plays on a fucking Midwestern team with a racist team name, or a potentially racist team name, and she's a country singer, and somehow conservatives hate them. It's wild. It's like upside down world.
Well, here's my question though: is it conservatives, like real American conservatives, that hate them, or is it just manufactured TV conservatives?
Yeah, I think it's anyone tuning like heavily into like the OANs and the Newsmaxes and I think those are it's the MAGAs. I think it's the hard MAGAs that are just really not about it.
They like soft ends. Let me tell you that. They like good
not even that.
pudgy,
I saw a tweet from fucking what's the fucking brown guy's name who was pretending to run for fucking as a Republican?
Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, Vivek fucking whatever you call an Uncle Tom, but an Indian one. So
it wasn't the brain surgeon from
yeah, and Uncle Rajesh. Okay, fucking. He tweeted. He was like, just mark my words. Keep an eye out for the Kelce Swift pair to endorse Biden. It's like, dude, really? What? Like, okay. I mean, yeah, probably. But why? Why is this a talking point?
Well, yeah, because they're scared of something like that of actually occurring on a political scale. But as far as sports is concerned, again, you're bringing eyeballs to the game. Everybody should want everybody to be a fan of the sport that they're a fan of. And I believe that you can pick your team. We can argue about the team you like. But the fact that you like the thing that I like, I don't think that's ever a problem. And in this hate-filled fucking fuck you everything world that we live in, I feel like we could celebrate love a little bit. If we can't find a way to celebrate love in America, we are fucking doomed. What's the point of the struggle? If we can't be happy for an attractive young couple who's not like at each other's throats, there's no nudes floating around, there's no like weird, just like everything I've heard is like she tips everybody $100 bill everywhere she goes. They're treating everybody with respect. And by the way, the Kelce brothers, because of all this fanfare with Taylor Swift involved and all that jazz, because they wouldn't be getting this coverage if Taylor Swift wasn't a part of this package. But we're learning what an amazing human being that Jason Kelce is because of all this. And this might be the first like duo, like brother duo, that's not like, I don't know, like, I think what's the other, like we got the Manning brothers, right? And they're these just real buttoned up, like can't say anything wrong guys. Look, I listened to the New Heights podcast the other day. I'm like, damn, how many F-bombs you guys gonna drop? Like this might bring about that next era of sports commentary and coverage that we've possibly all been longing for.
I think we're kind of already there with like Pat McAfee and shit. But not like I think we are also already knew Jason Kelsey was a good guy like ages ago. Travis has kind of always been a piece of shit, as a matter of fact. I mean, like there's a 30 for 30 I think on the two of them about how like Travis was a giant piece of shit and Jason had to like kick his ass and get him into gear. Like, so yeah, I mean, I look, I don't give a fuck. They show Swift like maybe a couple times a game. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, the thing I hate more is the fucking Swifty bitches. Yeah, I'm talking to you, bitches, who's listening. Probably very few of you, but fucking you guys just suck.
No, they don't. I love you all. You should all
Nope.
enjoy this podcast from
Fucking,
start to finish.
I enjoy. Yep, that's fucking. Play this. Make sure this is a clip and we put this shit on TikTok. Fucking, dude, watch us get views. Fucking. I can't do it anymore. Like I get it. She's a big deal. She's got tours. She's re-releasing albums all the fucking time. Like I just can't put up with it. Like I had to unfollow people because I'm just like, dude, I don't want to see you watching her concert on television. Like that's your Instagram story. That's all I get. Come on, man. Like that's the worst part about all of this is the Swifties. As a male Swifty, it fucking the real Swifties fucking terrible. You guys are fucking awful.
Awfully influential.
I'm sorry. I'm just that's right. I'm trying to think about how to hashtag this. I'm already kind of getting the thought process going in my mind.
Hashtag final clip ever.
Hashtag Barstool. You want some? Like, fucking no, dude. I mean, maybe they cancel us. Hey, it's been a good run. But I don't think so. Honestly, I think they roast us to high heavens, and that's what sends us on this rocket ship to at least one of us overdosing.
Dude, this actually.
while listening to a Taylor Swift song on repeat,
definitely.
We stab our eardrums out.
Yeah.
Honestly, this might show her character more than anything because anything she says or anything she endorses, like instantly is like number one in its category, like on Amazon or iTunes or anything. If I had that kind of power over people, my God, I mean, you could you're an instant cult leader. Like she could start her own church right now. She could just her and Travis could jump on stage, like the Fight for Your Right to Party Presbyterian Church.
That's a big sign. I don't know, like I guess you have to.
They can afford it though.
That's right. This is per character. I don't give a fuck. Make it big, bold. Make it Helvetica. I don't give a shit.
And then they sell their product line. Like that's what you wear to church. This fucking weird cross colors, fucking oddly textured things from his True Fit collection.
God. You talk about an opportunity to troll. Get some of those glasses with a 1080 camera on that puppy. Get in there. Actually, that's assuming no cameras allowed. I'm assuming at a church like that, the Fight for Your Right to Party Kelsey Swift Presbyterian Church. Did I get that right? Yeah, they're like, pull out your cameras. We want you to record all of this from beginning to end, all the way through all the sermons, sang by Eric Sermon. You don't know who that is, young kids.
Damn.
And then we're going to put it in theaters and we're going to tour it around the country.
That's right.
That's crazy as shit to me, man. I think that's when I lost it. Was like, I saw, like, people spend lots of money and, like, leave their home state because they couldn't get tickets in their home state. And, like, fucking went and saw her and then came home and was like, oh, my God, that's on television. I'm going to watch it all the time now. And it's like, oh.
Oh, okay.
I guess, but no, I don't.
I have a cousin who has two daughters, 15 and 12. Okay. The Chicago tickets were too expensive, and Chicago is like a 3-hour drive from where they live. So they went to Indianapolis because it was half the cost, about twice the drive, about 6 hours. But they're also from the Midwest, where a 6-hour drive is kind of, it's a to-do. But 6-hour drive to me, I'm like, fuck, that's my whole goddamn day. Christ. I'm like, I can't do anything after that. Nope. I can go to bed, But they did that. I understand. I mean, these girls love her and they had a good time. I don't know where they saw that where they do the combine where the Colts play.
Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil. Yeah.
The drum.
That's right.
As Sherman calls it.
That's right.
Look, parents, take your kids. Fucking kids, bug your parents. That's great. I'm talking about the 37-year-old women, single women that are doing this shit. Like, fucking dressing up to the. And look, I mean, who the fuck am I to judge, right? I'm sure we'll get hate on this one. But, like, there's levels, man. I get it. I love the Ravens. I love the Orioles. I love fucking a Newcastle United football team. I love lots of things that I do irrational things for. I followed fucking jam bands around. I like a dummy. But you know what I didn't do was like go home and watch that concert that I was just at on television and then post it on the internet a bunch of times and then listen to a re-recorded album of the same shit that I went and saw a concert and then watch that concert on TV of. Like, I didn't do all of that stuff. That shit's weird. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I just find it funny that you're saying that, like, about these, like, and most grown men who enjoy sports dream is to go to every single baseball and football stadium across the U.S. to watch their team probably get beat in an opposing team's fucking home field.
It's probably true. Yeah.
What's worse, watching a Taylor Swift concert that you attended, or watching a Fish concert that you attended? Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it?
Your first mistake was attending a Fish concert.
Yeah. That may be true. That may be true.
You don't attend a Fish concert. You fuse and become one with the Fish concert.
That's fair. Yeah, that's reasonable.
It's not a concert; it's an experience. Is that right? Yeah.
They don't even send you tickets. They just send you an eighth of mushrooms. You just fucking eat it, and you're there. You're at a Fish concert now.
Yeah.
You actually put the ticket on your tongue and start the trip ball.
Your admission is explaining to the ticket teller while you're there, high on mushrooms. Well, how much time you got?
Before they start playing, they just tell you to eat your ticket, and everybody just stonks out.
Takes 3 days for everyone to get in.
They play 4 songs over the course of 3 days.
All right. Yeah, all right, guys. The instruments are finally in tune. Let's do this thing.
Hey, we got a request, a Taylor Swift song. Shake it off.
30-minute rendition of Shake It Off. Fucking awful.
One last thing before I get into an introduction. Wanted to see if you guys saw this. Speaking of what, I mean, Eminem was once, world renowned, still is, but he's not that level anymore. Or was he ever?
What do you mean?
Swift, like comparing him to Taylor Swift.
Okay, and I'm not trying to be this guy, but I'm honestly saying, like, I don't know if anybody in the last 40 years compares to, like,
Michael Jackson.
Well, I'm saying in the last 40 years. So yeah, I would say her and Michael Jackson. Yeah, that's comparable. I don't think you can take somebody from. I'd say something like Eminem obviously elevated at the time, more of a niche genre to the forefront. But he didn't just overtake everything.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Anyway, the joke is that the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, which is kind of creepy to me because when I think Ben Johnson, I always think of the steroid Canadian sprinter. But maybe sticking around. I think this is a joke. Maybe sticking around Detroit, that way he avoided being on a diss track by Eminem. Did you hear this rumor?
I heard it, but I don't know if I understand it. So
the hit, like Detroit blew the game against the 49ers in the NFC Championship. Yeah. And it wasn't just the offensive coordinator, but there were some play calls towards the end. There was, not taking the field goal points that may have been the difference in the game. But the joke is, had he left to go pursue perhaps a head coaching job somewhere, then Eminem would have put him on, he would have put him on blast on a total diss track, fucking telling him he sucked. The shitty offensive coordinator, get the fuck out of town. Just something funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could be true. But again, I don't know that an Eminem diss track in 2024 is quite as powerful as an Eminem diss track in, 2004.
Yeah, I don't know.
He'd be fine if he was dissing a person of fucking value. Like, nobody cares about this guy. Like, it'd be different if he was if tomorrow you were like, oh my God, Eminem diss track fucking Drake. It would be like news because that person's relevant to today's music. What that offensive coordinator is what you just said of the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I think he's skipping out on the headlines. That's all. Like
Fair.
not even the fucking head coach. You're making the towel boy at this point. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get like a lot of Google searching on Ben Johnson. So
Yeah, I don't fucking know that. Yeah, exactly. His name is fucking Ben Johnson. You'd have to sift through Ben Johnsons to figure out which one it is. Like,
why is he dissing this 50-year-old sprinter? I don't get it.
Jesus. I finished fucking third at Worlds this last time out. It's been worth it.
By the way, there is a really good one. Murr, if you're bored on your way to work, he does a full blown like 3 or 4 minute one for Mariah Carey. Like it's probably like 10 years old. Whew, man, puts out a heater.
What?
She said some shit.
What was the? Why did he have beef with Mariah Carey?
Well, they used to be an item,
Oh.
kind of like I think it was under the radar hookup type thing, and then someone caught wind of it. She, rather than just deny it, she then denied it and then said all the reasons why she would never do that with Eminem. He's this disgusting looking, unattractive white boy, podunk, below me, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, all you could have said was no. But then you had to fucking then you had to insult me. Fuck you. Here we go. Yeah. And just does this 4 minute blitz package. No chorus, no hook. Just
Nice.
Oh,
Well
yeah.
done. Yeah. Oh God, Mariah Carey. I could only imagine what that's like now. Like there was a time back in like the late '90s, early 2000s, sure, but now I just feel like she's probably got like 8 dudes that like move her back and forth on you.
got a pit crew that assists in the fornication.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And I get the frustration too on that, and I don't really remember. I can't remember the whole situation, but yeah. I'll forward you I'll forward you the diss track. Anywho, congratulations, Ben Johnson, on not winding up on the latest Marshall Mathers hit list. He's got to go back to Machine Gun Kelly. Do you know who that is, Murr?
Yeah, I'm aware. He was dating Megan Fox, and was at one time a rapper, then became a pop metal artist of some sort.
Ooh,
And
that I
why?
didn't know.
I thought that's
I didn't know he got into pop metal.
Oh yeah, I think that's when he got the most famous, is when he did a couple pop metal tracks.
Who?
Oh
Eminem?
no, Machine Gun Kelly,
Oh. Is
MGK.
that guy actually famous though?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he was most famous for dating Megan Fox. I think that was his greatest hit.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know a damn song that he sings, but I do know that he banged Megan Fox.
That's right. And he wound up on a few Eminem diss tracks, so check those out as well. Middle Class Souls, everyone. Foxman, Alan, Murr. Looks like PETA, one of our favorite groups that we like to talk about, is going to make a change, and that's the topic of this week's Friend or Foe.
Yes, Groundhog Day is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, as we're recording, the day this is out, hey, happy Groundhog Day, everybody. PETA is a little tired of seeing old Punxsutawney Phil get poked out of his chamber to see if it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, if we're getting ourselves in early spring. So the people for the ethical treatment of animals, well, they got a little something up their sleeve. They would like to retire Punxsutawney Phil and replace him with an enormous golden weather predicting coin. I feel like the groundhog makes more sense.
Yeah. God, it's the fucking worst, man. They don't even have good ideas.
Here is PETA's quote. Quote, groundhogs can't make heads or tails of weather forecasts and shouldn't be jostled around by large members of a different species and thrust in front of noisy crowds for a photo op, the PETA president Ingrid Newkirk said in a statement on the offer. Quote, PETA is urging Punxsutawney Groundhog Club to send Phil to a reputable sanctuary that will give him the care he needs and not treat him as wildlife props. Okay. PETA made the offer in a letter claiming that Punxsutawney blah, 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 blah. In the letter, the animal rights group claims that the enclosure where the groundhog is kept, quote, year-round at the local library so that one day a year he can be brought to the attention of Punxsutawney simply isn't humane. So they want to replace Punxsutawney Phil. The friend or foe is the groundhog ceremony, just an outdated thing of a bygone era. And we should usher in a new tradition. It doesn't necessarily mess up the festivities in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Or foe, no, PETA, go fuck yourself. The groundhog's fine, probably treated better than almost every other groundhog who's blasted by a small-range rifle everywhere else in the United States when they emerge from the ground. So kick rocks and enjoy your vegan tofu breakfast tomorrow morning. Wes?
Here's the thing. While you may disagree with me on this, I don't disagree with PETA's logic on the coin flip, and they offered a compromise. They weren't just bitching and pissing and moaning to say, you need to stop this. You need to end this ceremony, stop this whole pomp and circumstance. And then, the rebuttal was, what are we supposed to do? And then you're like, well, I don't know. You figure that out. PETA was actually like, hey, we'll give you this. I think they were going to make the coin. They're going to make the actual Punxsutawney Phil coin to flip. And then it says a coin lands on the same side about 50% of the time, whereas Phil's predictions have been shown to be correct at just about 40% of the time, the letter states. Okay, math aside, statistics aside, I do like that PETA is actually coming up with a alternative, a festivity or an alternative, kablam, grand finale. Okay. But at the same time, I mean, assuming this local library that they keep Phil at isn't like having kids hit him with cattle prods as they go in and out while they sign up for new library cards, or, that it's like open air peeing on him or some weird, I don't know, some weird thing. Assuming it's a nice enclosure, he gets to have conjugal visits from time to time. What's the big deal? Doesn't he bite the handlers every now and then? Doesn't he get a little feisty and fucking chomp at them?
Yeah. And he doesn't get, and there's no retribution towards Phil. It's always just all part of the show.
Probably treated like fucking royalty.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to my opinions after.
And I said statistics aside, because we all know the fucking groundhog can't predict the fucking weather.
How fucking dare you?
Yeah, sorry. The Tooth Fairy is real, Murr. And Punxsutawney Phil is the same groundhog they've kept for 100 years. They treat him so well. He's 100 years old.
Exactly. Alan, what say you about changing the now? But see, here's the thing. I'll even make this a little more specific for you. Not just changing the tradition, but changing the tradition because PETA feels as though it's abusive towards the groundhog.
Definitely not. I hate all things PETA. So fuck those guys. But no, this is done like you guys said. The groundhog's probably fucking like, he lives like a king. He's got like a little penned off area, goes under the ground, fucking hangs out. They smoke him out when they need him. Fucking good to go. Like you said, he bites on them. They don't fucking throw him. They don't fucking kill him. Like, I kind of think PETA's just fucking sticking their nose where it doesn't belong again. Being fucking stupid. They try to coin flip. That's fucking dumb. Stop it. PETA, just fucking stop it. Nobody, like, if they came up with good ideas, we'd be like, maybe. But like,
what would be a good idea? Like,
I don't know. Nothing for this one. There is a good idea. It's a bunch of fucking white dudes in fucking stovepipe hats, fucking grabbing an animal out of the ground and being like, "It's cold." Like, it's fucking great. It's perfect. It's like, nailed it. We've already nailed it. Stop it, PETA.
Yeah, and the other thing that they did, and this is what a big reason why I think that the town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, is going to tell PETA to really fucking kick rocks on this one, is there is a tradition with the groundhog seeing his shadow. Now, they're like, in Punxsutawney, I'm sure they take this rather seriously, more seriously than grown men probably should. And PETA is reducing that, I don't know, natural phenomenon to a coin flip. Now, has Punxsutawney been wrong in the past? Sure, Phil's been wrong a few times in the past. But in spirit, the groundhog's instinct is supposed to be the thing that's predicting the upcoming seasonal change, right? We're talking like another month and a half or not of winter. And so you're going off of like this internal clock of the groundhog, and PETA is reducing it to the flip of a coin, which is actually kind of rude and insulting to the people who take it very seriously in Pennsylvania. So that's where Peter really gets off on the wrong foot on this one. And as far as people for the ethical treatment of animals, how much more ethically can you treat a varmint than the way you treat Phil?
It's true.
Phil probably has like truffle oil like rubbed on his nipples before he's pulled out of that fucking hole in the ground. Phil's probably brushed ever so gently with a camel's hair fucking hairbrush only reserved for royalty. Like, the way this groundhog is treated is probably the most ethical way any groundhog in the history of groundhogs has ever been treated. So they're just contradicting themselves at every pass on this one.
That's a good point, man. Because, like, think about it. You ever fucking... Wes, we out on the golf course, see some groundhogs. We're like, oh, shit, they got groundhogs out here. That's not good. Could fuck up the golf course. Like, around your home. You know what I mean? Like, you see a little hole. Oh, fucking groundhog. Dig it under my fucking house. Motherfucker. Like, at no point in time is anyone of the general public being like, oh, look at that majestic groundhog. Like, no, it's a fucking pest. And this thing is treated like fucking gold. Shut up, PETA. Fucking dead to us.
You hit the nail on the head with that, Murr, about there's probably a groundhog master. You know what I mean? There's a whole crew of people who have dedicated jobs to what you just talked about, who then get to stand in front of this screaming mob at town hall at Punxsutawney and, you know, dress up in these trench coats and these top hats. And this is their New Year's Eve. This is their coup de grace, their goddamn grand finale. And
this is their Taylor Swift Eras tour. Okay.
You're right. And, you know, when you start treading water and stepping on these people's coattails, literally, you know, they might take offense to that. They might not like the fact that you're, you know, hi, I'm Phil's groom master. Well, sorry, buddy. No more grooming. You're gonna have to find a you're gonna have to find a different hobby. I was about to say a real job. I'm sure he has a real job. You have to find a different hobby.
Oh, I'm willing to bet that Phil's groomsman, if that's a thing, is no, he might be looking for groundhog suitors at for like around the country. Punxsutawney Phil is probably from like the greatest lineage of groundhogs that have ever existed. I know it's not the same groundhog, but I wouldn't be surprised if that groundhog's not purposefully bred to be a part of the same like genetic line for the last 150 years.
Sure, it wouldn't shock me. Yeah, they find mates and try to breed out certain things and do DNA tests, and then they line Phil's fucking library suite with satin and roses and whatever it is that groundhogs eat. I was about to say strawberries and whipped cream, but you know, maybe they do that too. I don't know, but maybe not the whipped cream. You got to watch Phil's diet. You know, can't be getting too many calories for the fat feller.
Man, now that I know this, I legitimately want to, like, off season make a trip to the Punxsutawney Town Library just to go see Phil. I didn't know that was a thing you could do all year round.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It's interesting.
Makes me want to watch Groundhog Day again.
And again.
And again. See my old buddy Ned Ryerson selling insurance. That's right.
I like how that fucking... They if you go to the Punxsutawney Phil Groundhog Club website, it's groundhog.org, by the way, and you try to search about like how many Punxsutawney Phils there's been, because they don't live very long. They'd say one. They say he's been making predictions since 1886. He gets his longevity from drinking the elixir of life, a secret recipe.
See, PETA?
He takes one sip every summer at the groundhog picnic, and it magically gives him 7 more years of life.
Nice.
It's like the cup of Christ from Indiana Jones.
For the record, wild fucking groundhogs live like 3 to 4 years on average.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, you got to remember.
They can live up to 14 in captivity, though.
Yeah. Okay. You got to remember, there's coyotes and Rottweilers and
cars
and kids with BB guns.
Vehicles.
I mean, I'll tell you, I'm always impressed when I see a groundhog run, though. It's like a lineman that catches a fucking, like, picks up a fumble, like in a playoff game. It's like, damn, big boy's got some wheels on him. Look at him go. Just slugging his way across a field. It's pretty awesome.
That fast and that low to the ground, too. Yeah. You don't see any leg action. You don't see any, like, you know, actual leg and fast twitch.
Oh, by the way, speaking of like Pennsylvania groundhogs, like I saw a highlight reel of Jerome Bettis the other day, and I hadn't seen one of those in a while. And the caption on it, it was on TikTok. It was like, "Did you know the NFL used to let linemen run the ball?" And I was like, "God damn!" I forgot how big and agile and awesome he was.
The bus.
God, like you just don't see. It's just the game ain't like that no more, man. Ain't like that anymore.
Yeah, the Jerome Bettises don't grow on trees in Punxsutawney. It's just like it's once in a lifetime. He may live to 136. You never know. Maybe that's what they should do. It's going to be Jerome Bettis looking.
I don't
looking
think
for
Buffalo
his,
Wild Wings makes the elixir of life.
They could.
He would always see a shadow.
I think the
everywhere.
elixir of life is that lemonade that killed a lady from fucking Panera. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
That charged lemonade. Like it's like a lemonade with like I guess extra caffeine added to it. They call it charged lemonade. But like it killed a lady. She drank too much of it.
Oh, well, that's her own fault.
Yeah.
I did have a Celsius the other day. I hadn't tried one before, and I was like, all right, I'm going to try this bad boy. I need a little juice to get in my tank here. And, yeah, that did something.
Yeah.
Definitely did something.
Had a couple of those. Our CEO / co-owner will bring in a case from time to time. And if I'm lucky enough, all the goddamn, the animals, the young 20 salesmen who don't fly through them, I might get to smell one. I'm just kidding. I might get to have one, but
It was tangerine marshmallow. I'm like, that is the strangest
That
dual.
sounds gross.
Well, I realize, like, and I like to analyze things. Like, I'm like, because I have a theory on sports drinks in general, like, that they kind of taste them and then they figure out what flavor it is after the fact because they don't know what all these chemicals mixed together are actually going to be like.
That's fair.
And so they're like, ooh, that's citrusy on the way down, but what's that aftertaste in the nose? It's like marshmallow. There it is, tangerine marshmallow. Label it, stamp it, send it out.
distribution. Go.
Like, nobody would have thought these combinations of flavors would have worked together, but we did. No, you just fucking dumped a bunch of fucking niacin and guarana together, and that's just fucking what it came out like. Well done, sirs.
Tangerine marshmallow. Yummy. That's I'm gonna come to a store near you. Ugh, not outside of Punxsutawney.
But I don't remember what the friend was. I don't remember what the foe was, but I feel like we're saying PETA kick rocks, Punxsutawney forever.
We're foe and Peter's idea.
Yes.
That's right.
And
I
that, my
think
friends, is your friend or foe.
I'm pretty sure the town's going to do the same too. You think they're not going to, they're not going to beckon or bow down to PETA, right?
Oh, yeah. The first town hall meeting where, like, they try to, like, roll out the coin, it's going to end up like the scene from the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And there's going to be some PETA guy just trying to run his way out the door. Fucking machine gun blast shooting off their fucking half-ass coin. Yeah. Kiss off.
Well, let's get out of Punxsutawney and let's get into Smartsville. Hit us up with some Fun Fact Friday.
Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. It is time for your true facts that sound like bullshit, brought to you by our great friend over on Instagram. Find him yourself. It is Cuckster4Life. Cuckster, the number 4 life on Instagram. And you can follow just the life and times of the Cuckster as his wife gets nailed out in Motel 6s, Motel 7s, Motel 8s.
Red Roof Inn if it's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a good weekend. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget about the Shin Splints Recovery Group and Flat Earth Science Advocates for Truth, other friends of ours on the internets. I haven't checked on those guys in a while. I still see a lot of Shin Splint Recovery Group posts sporadically, maybe 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, well, they got 5,000 followers, so there's a lot of shin spins flying around there. At least 5,000, maybe 10, if the other shin's hurting.
I can't believe this fucking page
I know.
has become this.
I know. Well, we were supposed to quit if they beat us, and we should have quit a long time ago.
So they're still posting about shit. It's crazy.
It's taken over. That's the thing. Is like the inmates are running the asylum now. It's quite organic and quite amazing. It's one of the great success stories of the internet.
You know, the best part about it is it's not even shin splits oriented now. It's just all lower body. It was like, oh god, I rolled my ankle 2 years ago, and it's been clicking ever since.
I will say it all leads to shin splints though, because you're right. I saw some lady like, I had my knees replaced, blah 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 blah. Now I've developed shin splints. I'm like, oh, here we go. All right. Yes, I would imagine that the surgical fucking replacement of your knee joint maybe has something to do with the shin area of your leg hurting as well. Yeah. Possibility. Not
shin
a doctor.
splints. Knee replacement's evil cousin.
Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Did you know Gene Roddenberry originally wanted Patrick Stewart to wear a wig for his iconic Star Trek role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard? Later, when a reporter noted that they would surely have a cure for baldness in the 24th century, Rodney is said to have responded, "No, by the 24th century, no one will care." So they ended up going with the no hair.
It's better.
Agreed.
It'd be weird with hair.
Yeah.
I feel like the reporter was onto something, though.
The 24th century, they'll have a cure for baldness.
Yeah. Like, it just wouldn't happen anymore.
I think they would have bred it out of us. You know?
And they had bred us out of us, but, like, there's a great scene in one of the original Star Trek movies. I think it's the Voyage Home. And Bones is in the hospital, and some lady's like, he's like, "Why are you here, man?" And she's like, "I'm on dialysis." He's like, "Dialysis, these barbarians." He's like, "Take these and talk to me tomorrow." And then as they're running out of the hospital, he's like, "Doctor gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney." Yeah, so I feel like we'd be in some kind of like medical technology like that. Like, "Oh, it looks like you're thinning out back there. Take this." That's it. And that's it. Forever.
Would you like Fabio or David Beckham? Whatever. Anything.
Well, according to the fucking crazies, we're still supposed to get those med beds that basically regrow limbs and stuff that we talked about like a year and a half or 2 years ago. So those should be coming.
Well, Elon did apparently implant his first,
Neuralink,
Neuralink in a human. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. Here we go.
I'm actually, to be perfectly honest with you, Alan, you'll have to put your Elon hatred aside for a second. I am amazed that did not get more than like a headline. Like, I feel that should be something that is discussed a little more. I don't know. Like, it should be a little more out there. Like, I feel like 60 Minutes should do a whole big thing about it. You know, that if it does what he claims it can do, and they've actually approved him for human trials, it feels as though that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, see, the kicker there is that it probably doesn't do what he says it could do, like most of the things that he says.
And listen, I'll say this. Your criticism is fair and should also be highlighted in a fully detailed story before people get their hopes up.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Like, if this guy's like, you can charge your phone on your head now. I'm like, okay, bud, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you'd probably put it in like some like quadriplegic that had a stroke, and it's like anything's gonna look better.
Yeah. Or if he's like, well, now you can like answer your calls like a future person. And I'm like, oh, so you just gave me a cochlear implant. We already have those. And you fucking put Spotify on it? Got it. Thanks, bud. Like, Jesus Christ.
It just reads a Twitter feed to you all day.
Yeah, basically. And you can't censor any of it. You get unfiltered Twitter.
That's right.
Dude, let me tell you something. I messed up my Twitter algorithm because all I'm getting now is like fight videos and murder videos. Like, I'm trying to like click on things that are just kind of outside, just a little more fun to see if I can't like maybe balance it out a little bit. It ain't working. It's just like teenagers and every ethnicity in the world fighting in the streets right now.
Jesus.
I saw some guy yesterday wait for the elevator door to close after he hugged his girlfriend and he put a gun in his mouth. And I was like, what are we doing here?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What is going on over on Twitter?
And I'm not trying. I'm just scrolling. I'm like, yeah, this looks interesting. Yeah. Saw a guy fall off a roof and he impaled himself through a. But when I say impaled himself, I mean like Vlad the Impaler through like one of those like like the things they put up in front of a Wawa so you don't drive into the front door.
Yeah.
This guy went asshole first onto one of those, falling off a roof, and all you see is like his head. You see like right here on his neck go like, burp, and then he just like slowly hands fall to his side, and I'm like, I'm gonna have nightmares for the rest of my life.
Like under impaled. Like
It went up his butt
huge
through his entire body.
wow.
Oh, you should send me that. I kind of want to watch that.
Okay, I know.
Don't mess
That,
with
that one seems like I need to watch it to just understand the physiology of it all.
I was going to say, I watched one the other day where a guy jumps off his roof onto a trampoline and dislocates both of his knees.
Oh, I seen that. I think I've seen that one. Yeah, I think my buddy said it. And I was like, both those knees are just gone.
Yeah,
It's just jelly.
Even in the most optimistic outcomes of orthopedic surgery, he's going to be arthritic heavily.
Fucking noodle.
I know. And like, listen, I defend Elon and his justification for like, we should put everything out there and let the world decide. And now I'm like, gosh, man, can you hire one of those woke ass Twitter fucking like editors back? Just one. Like, I don't need all of them. Just one, because I don't need to accidentally see this stuff every time I open the page. But did you know Elvis Presley never wrote any of his own songs?
I knew that he
Figured that
did.
would be one, right?
I
He didn't play
know
guitar.
that, but that's not surprising.
It's like,
They
I know
didn't
he
play
did-
guitar?
No, the strings were painted on.
Yeah.
He didn't play guitar. That I knew. I didn't know that he didn't write any of his own music. If you had just said most of it, I'd have been okay. But I think would have been one of those things where, like, as he grew into stardom, he'd be like, "Hey, man, I've been hitting the books. I've been, doing some things on the road. I've, got a lot of free time, and this I kind of was throwing a few jingles together, and I came up with this." And I'm like, "Oh shit, Elvis, that fucking sounds great. Let's record it." Some song I've never heard of, but nothing, zero,
I know.
absolutely nada from his collection was written by. I was about to say Sir Elvis. He was never knighted. He was knighted in Nashville, which is a totally different thing. But no, did not know that.
Yes, in Nashville, if you are knighted, it is a totally different thing.
Sounds very different.
Yeah.
That's not surprising at all.
Wow. Yeah, but I do agree. And I'm not telling you that you're a liar or anything, but I'm shocked by the guitar thing, I think, more than the songs.
Now, if you watch some of the stage stuff, especially like on the Ed Sullivan show, some of those like hand whips where he's like throwing his arm
Sure.
360 degrees around is just, not very realistic. So yeah, he
I felt like during the comeback tour though, like when he wore like the all black leather and like looked perfect, I felt like he played guitar in that. I could be wrong though.
So I don't think he was in it. Like, I don't think he, but you may have to correct me on this one. You may have to fact check me on this one. I don't think he couldn't play guitar. He could play guitar. I don't think he was an on-stage guitar presence.
Sure, I can see that.
So I think
can see that.
It was a prop, and to give him a little more, I guess, validity as a musician, if you will. And then but he was a singer entertainer.
Yeah, but as far as like Elton John, he's famously he's at least never written any of the song lyrics. He's always written like the actual music,
The notes
are part of that. But but he always credits his songwriter. He's like, I don't write lyrics. I just sing the fuck out of them. And that he does. Did you know Sean Connery turned down the role of Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings because he didn't understand the script? When the franchise was wildly successful, he reevaluated his thinking only to accept a role in a box office bomb, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I did know this. I have heard this. Read it. I think after he had died. He died three years ago, something like that. Passed away. So I was reading like facts you may not have known about it, and he said he read all the books leading up to it after the offer and said, I just didn't understand it. Didn't make any sense to me.
I mean, good for him, I guess, in a way. It's sort of admirable to say.
But that he read more books in a month than you're going to read in the next 3 years.
Okay, well, that's not what I was going to say. But
Me too.
touche. No, I feel like if you knew that this was something that was going to get this kind of budget behind it, you have to know that the payday is going to be huge, no matter whether you get the script or not, So he decided not to phone it in and let somebody else do the role because he didn't get it. I don't know how to be this character because I don't understand it. So in a way, that's kind of admirable. But I imagine you do kind of kick yourself in the ass knowing that thing pulled in how many Academy Awards and just legions
Billions.
of fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Crazy.
who was the guy who played Gandalf?
Sir Ian McKellen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's almost perfect.
Yeah, he is. I couldn't imagine Sean Connery as that role. Actually, it'd be kind of weird.
Frodo, listen.
Exactly.
Need you to take this ring to the mountain.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah.
Fly, you fool.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Did you say Whopper Jr. to the side?
Yes, I did. Because I can't. I actually, okay. And I gotta be honest. I steal that from Daryl Hammond. Not that I steal it. I steal it because that's how he said he got into Sean Connery when he would do the Jeopardy.
Yeah.
He said right before he walked out, he's like, the best way to get the Sean Connery, the accent is to say Whopper Jr. Whopper Jr. And you say it 5 or 6 times, and all of a sudden your voice gets into this pattern. And you can't get out of the Sean Connery voice. But you have to start with Whopper Jr. Because apparently all of the syllabic whatever fucking mouth garbly goop you need to get started is contained within Whopper Jr.
He wore a wig in Bond.
He didn't want to.
Yeah.
They made him. And that's why one of the reasons he wanted to quit is because he just didn't give a shit. He's like, can I be yeah, you know what? And screw that. This comes back to the Patrick Stewart thing. Can you not be handsome as a bald man? Is that what we're saying? Jason Statham's done fine. The Rock does fine.
You consider Patrick Stewart a handsome man?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Peak
Yeah, young Patrick Stewart. I could see
Peak
that.
Patrick Stewart? Goddamn right. He's a handsome young man. How dare you? Dude, I was watching some Star Trek The Next
Johnny
Generation.
Sins, fucking handsome man.
Johnny Sins. Fucking yeah. There you go.
Dude, I was watching some Star Trek The Next Generation the other day, and I only watched like 4 episodes, and 3 out of the 4, they had a fucking shirtless, like, Jean-Luc Picard, and I'm like, this doesn't even make sense, man.
Dude, he's the voice of fucking, he's the voice of Stan's dad on American Dad, or Stan's boss on American Dad. I don't know if you guys watch American Dad. If you don't, you absolutely fucking should. And the things they have gotten Sir Patrick Stewart to agree to say on a fucking cartoon, a Seth MacFarlane cartoon, outlandish. Like, he's fucking absolutely insane. You guys should watch that show.
Oh, he was knighted, by the way, properly in England,
Yeah.
not Elvis and not in Nashville.
I think you're missing the joke with Elvis being knighted in Nashville. All right, moving on. Did you know? In The Wizard of Oz, the dog playing Toto was paid an actual salary. He was paid $125 a week. This is more than the film's human actors were paid.
Wow.
What?
So they got him to sign the contract with a paw print or something like that.
I guess.
Just dunk his little paw in ink and just boop, there you go.
This is one I need to do. I need to find it in inflation calculator. What do you think? Okay, $150, $125. And what year was
1939.
Okay, so
38.
all right, we'll go with. God damn it! I guess the inflation calculator is broken. Thanks, Joe Biden.
Damn it, Kelsey and Swift, they're fucking us.
Okay, here we go. We'll do $125 in 1939. You say?
I'm guessing when Wizard of Oz was made. It might be before that. Hold on.
Wizard of Oz
We'll calculate it that way.
was 1939.
Okay.
Look at that. Oh, this calculator thing sucks.
The conspiracy is it started World War II with the
Okay,
Americans.
2000 would be okay. $2,740 in 2023 equals $125 of buying power in 1939. So this dog was paid $2,700 a week.
Sheesh. Oof.
It's a hell of a deal, man.
So I wonder if was he part of the union? You know, did he do all right?
I don't know, man. Toto's cashing it in. Guess what? Where was Toto from? Kansas. Seen her? Seen a theme here?
Well, Kansas City's in Missouri, but
They share a border, okay?
Yeah,
They share
okay.
a border.
Gotcha.
They share a border.
Gotcha.
Share
There
a
is a
border.
Kansas City, Kansas, by the way, but it's like 5,000 people.
Yeah, well, that's because like the way they drew the line, it's like this little nub of Kansas City, Missouri, kind of just bleeds over just a hair.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
But no, that's a lot of money for a dog. I wonder what he did with it. Do you think he went to little dog camps and, dog strip clubs, ones where they rub nipples with truffle oil, as they did with Punxsutawney Phil?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Maybe spend a little time in the dressing room with old Dorothy there. You know,
That's right.
peanut butter action. You know what I'm saying? And Judy Garland looked like she was down for it from everything I've read about her.
Yeah. I think Judy Garland was high as a kite. Yeah. As high as the witch that was flying around set.
And finally, did you know Kevin Smith's iconic movie Clerks was filmed on a budget of less than $28,000? Clerks was filmed on just $27,575, although post-production expenses for filming after it was complete pushed it to about $230,000, which is still an impressively low budget.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I didn't know that, but you could probably guess that just
Yeah.
given the production value and things like that. But it also goes to show you, I mean, especially like indie films, which this was at the time, like how good and how profitable they can be on low budget. You don't need the glitz and glamour and CGI. Christ, there was a George Burns, the actor.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He reminded me of the Vlasic Pickle guy. If like the Vlasic Pickle pelican, if he was like in real life, like scars chomping.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, hold on. I'm thinking of someone else. It's not. You're right. There is an old guy named George Burns. There's a younger guy. I always think of him from a movie called The Brothers McMullen. But he was in Christ, what's the World War II movie with Tom Hanks?
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, he was in that. He's been in a few other
You
movies.
talking about Tom Sizemore?
No, not Tom Sizemore. Last name's Burns. It's not Kevin Burns.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's kind of like he's probably like 5 years older than me, and he's got that real that voice like this.
Yeah. He was working for Entertainment Tonight when he did one of his first films and was stealing the camera equipment, like
Nice.
over the weekend to go shoot with,
Sure.
with the ET stuff, and then bringing it back super early Monday morning.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Yeah. Well, if you think about this, I mean, Matt Damon laid it down pretty good in a Hot Ones interview, and where he was talking about how you used to be able to make movies like this and you could turn a profit because you didn't expect it to necessarily do well in theaters. As long as it hit word of mouth, you'd sell a shit ton of DVDs. And now, because of streaming, you don't have those residual sales. So I feel like we are losing out on a lot of diamonds in the rough. And think about this: how much money did Clerks end up making from when it was produced till now? I mean, it's in the millions. And if you just then subtract the $230,000 that ended up being the final budget, that's paying the actors and everything.
I got you right here.
It might be more profitable than like the Flash movie or Superman versus Batman.
Box office was 4.4 million.
Wow.
Let's see. Release
So it made $4 million profit in the theaters.
in the theaters. Doesn't say what home movie sales were.
I guarantee it was triple that.
Yeah.
Oh, phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely. I know I watched it on VHS.
Yeah.
The first time I caught it.
So again, good entertainment doesn't have to look good; just has to be good.
Just have
And
to
that,
look
my
good,
friends-
like had to look good like Rick Darris.
Who's Rick Darris?
He's the strong man who comes in. He's an actor in Clerks, a character rather.
Oh, gotcha. And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday. You know that. It's just amazing that you know that.
Because his name was brought up in Mallrats, so it's kind of funny if you know. if you remember Mallrats that well as well.
That I do remember very well.
They make fun of what's her face, that one of the main characters, for having sex with him on a pool table at a party. And he's like, "Oh, is that when you fucked Rick Darris on the pool table at the party?" And Jason Lee's like, "Oh, that's when Smokey fucked the bandit. I remember." Yeah. Tonight on Before You Go, with Valentine's Day right around the corner, looking just a shade under 2 weeks. If you're looking for that last-minute gift for someone who dumped you, an animal shelter in New Jersey, that's right, you heard that correctly, an animal shelter in New Jersey has a novel idea for the perfect gift for that ex. Here's a hint. It involves feral cats and neutering. A homeward-bound pet adoption center in South New Jersey announced it is running a promotion for the holiday. For a $50 donation, you can name a feral cat after an ex, and then the feline will get spayed or neutered before being released back into the wild. The shelter posted the flyer on the campaign on Instagram, including the line because some things shouldn't breed. Your thoughts on this wonderful, I guess, promotion that the South New Jersey animal shelter's running?
Beautiful fucking advertising.
Yeah.
It's right in line with like naming a star after somebody, like, because that's bullshit. That's not how stars are named. The star registry. Remember hearing those commercials?
Oh yeah.
We'll name a star after your lover. We'll send you the coordinates for it. It's never going to be named fucking Deborah. It's always going to be ZX149675. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. So yeah. So you did feral cat come in and have its balls snipped off. It's a great way for a nonprofit to raise a shit ton of money. So I applaud them just for the thought of, like, I mean, for guys, I don't think it works as well. But you know how many women are going to pay to have a cat's balls cut off?
Then you're gonna have a lot of like human named animals out in the wild.
That's very true.
You know, a lot of Mikes, a lot of Chads. Hey, this is Kyle. Interesting.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of white dude names running around.
Yeah, a lot of Chris's, a lot of Matts. You know. I mean, it's, while I do applaud the promotional side of this, there is a bit of like a sour grapes thing. I've always erred on the side of kill them with kindness. Kill your exes with kindness. Tell them you're happy to see them. Tell them you're doing great. Let them know that you're happy and you're learning and you're robust and you're doing well and things in life are looking up, and that way they don't question, they don't be like, oh, I mean, he's so miserable without me. This is so amazing. This is the way I chalked it up. Like, oh my God, he's actually happy. I can't believe this. When you start neutering cats and naming them after him.
You don't have to, like, I don't know if they're sending your ex a certificate, like, hey, we cut a cat's nuts off in your fucking name.
Wouldn't
Like,
that be something if they sent you like a telegram?
I wonder, you know what? Charge extra for that. They'll send us your ex's Facebook handle and we'll post a message just for them. Like, I mean, that would, charge an extra $50 for that. But you know what? This might be cathartic for somebody who can't just let go. And you could just say, all right, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna get Dave's balls cut off. That's $50 and I'm gonna let it go. Yeah. So it works. Everybody wins.
Kelly's ovaries pulled out. Sorry, Alan. I didn't. It's the first name that came to mind.
Of all the names.
I know. That's pretty generic. She knows it.
Yeah.
Generic names.
So yeah, folks, if you're in the South Jersey area, check it out. $50, you can get a cat. It runs with the old Bob Barker and now Drew Carey's tagline at the end of every Price is Right, which I watched a couple days ago. Weirdly enough, for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Drew
Yeah.
Carey look like he knows what he's doing yet?
I suspect. I don't know. Did he?
Not really.
Not particularly.
He always seems like he just barely understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, okay, in this game, you're gonna look at the board and you're gonna punch holes in where you think the price is. Okay, you understand? It's like, yeah, I probably understand better than you do.
You've
Drew,
played
so.
this game before, right? Yeah, you know the rules.
Yeah, you know the rules. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just try it out. See what happens.
That is very accurate. He does seem to not know anything about the show he's hosting.
And he's been doing it for like 20 years now.
I was gonna say it hasn't been a hand. It's been a while now.
Just pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah. He said it's so easy. Have you heard him talk about that?
Yeah, it should be easy. I mean, especially, again, if you would do 4 minutes of study and understand the games that you're supposed to play. And I get it. Like, sometimes the Price is Right will pull out a game that you haven't seen in a long, long time. But, yeah, if you have any kind of personality and you know how to talk to people, which he does, like, it should be the easiest thing in the world. That's it. Because all the producers are are selecting the most charismatic people they can find on the street to get picked for the show anyway. So it really should be a cakewalk.
Yeah. It hosts itself, is what we're saying.
Yes.
Well, I think he was talking about the amount of money he gets paid and how how quickly they film like 5 episodes a day.
Yeah.
I mean, they only film so it's just basically it's wham bam in and out.
Well, have you ever watched, I think it's called The Perfect Bid or something like that. It's a documentary about a guy who got everything spot on.
Oh, I think I did see this, yeah.
And what it was is this guy, I think he might have had a touch of autism, but he also kept like a spreadsheet of every prize that had ever been picked and what the pricing was and what the, did the washer have an automatic rinse cycle on it? And he priced that out too. So he knew exactly to a T what everything should be. And the producers, Bob knew about the guy, and the producers never let him come down. And then when Drew finally got the show, he slipped through the cracks. And then Drew was like, holy shit, I'm going to get fired because it looks like as soon as I get here, somebody bids out perfect for the whole fucking show. No. And yeah, he thought he was done. It's actually a lot more entertaining than you think it would be.
I'll check that out. Well, Alan, tell all the kiddos and kidettes and I don't know, just someone who's dying to find a new podcast in the regular daily life where they can find the middle class holes.
You can check us out right after The Price is Right, 10:30 a.m. on your weekday mornings if you're not at work. Fucking middle class holes on your television sets. But no, if you would like to really follow us, you can follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Class Holes on Instagram and Twitter, Middle Class Holes on Facebook and TikTok and all that other shit I've been talking about. I'm running out of fucking obscure dating sites. Do they have like Little People Date? Little People Date.
They
Check us out on that at MDL Class Holes. We shortened it too. On purpose.
Speaking of things that keep popping up on my up on my Twitter feed, I like really hot midgets for some reason.
Listen, buddy, the algorithm only gives you what you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the women say to like men on comments when they're like, "All I see is titties," and it's like, "Yeah, well, you like titties a lot, so the algorithm gives you what you want, buddy."
I mean, but they're like really hot little people.
Hey, man, that's no discrimination here, you know?
It's cool. You don't got to convince us, man. It's all good.
I mean, like, if you didn't see their arms, you'd be like, damn.
I met one at a bar in Fells Point once and almost took her to formal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, there was a committee that opted against it because we were like, everyone's going to ridicule her.
Can you imagine the moral backbone of our fraternity voted against it? Sheesh.
No, I like I had to kind of confide in some people, be like, dude, is this gonna end so badly? And
Wait,
yeah, like,
okay, no judgment. I'm just asking. Like, were you legitimately going to take her because you were like, man, I'd really like to take her. She's a really cool chick. Or were you like,
hey, no,
oh,
she was. So I was like 22, 23, and she was like maybe 30, or like late 20s or like 30.
Oh, she
Yeah,
could
she
sign
was.
for a house. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, like she was pretty. She was pretty hot. She was very cool. I met her somewhere in Fells Point, and then she had a friend, and I was with other friends, and then I was just chatting with her like all night. I think at Max's, as a matter of fact. Yeah, and then I think one of our brothers who was with me was like, "You should come. You should take her to formal." And I was like, "That's a fucking great idea." Until I was like, "Is it though?" like.
oh, that's sad.
I gotta
That's
take this poor woman up to this fucking town with a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, where was it? Do you remember where the actual formal was? Not that it matters, because I'm trying to see if I was there.
I don't know. I think it might have been. It might have been either. I think it might have been the one we got kicked out
Okay.
of the house.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was the one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The same fraternity that ran a quote unquote reverse auction at a bar for one of our fraternity brothers to meet his lowest wage for what sex act he would do with this particularly unattractive woman, which was finger her for $6, and he did. Then again, grew a backbone and voted against. Said, "Yo, you should not bring this little person to formal. I just can't buy it. I can't." What did we do? What the hell happened to us? What transpired?
Well, again, like I said, I think it was just a kind of a moment of clarity amongst. I don't even remember who it was. And it was just like, should we? This is probably a bad idea.
hold on though.
Is she down?
Wes, like what I find hilarious about what you're proposing here is like that you guys found some sort of moral backbone by saying we voted against him bringing this person who was a really kind, gentle soul, that was rather attractive and was into him to a formal only because we're not going to be able to help ourselves. We're definitely making fun of that little guy or that little gal. We're definitely going to pick on her all night. We are definitely going to mock the shit out of her if she makes her way through the front doors at a formal. Like you're acting like that was some sort of act of mercy when you could have just been like, nah, man, bring her. We promise, man. Everything will be on the A-OK.
Hey, we'll never know. I wasn't a part of the committee. All right, I wasn't asked for a vote or to chime in. This is the first time hearing this.
I'm just saying,
Quite
Alan.
frankly, I'm insulted.
Alan, before he met his wife, met a little lady and was going to take her to a formal dance, and they voted against her presence because they would not have been able to contain their ability to not make asshole jokes.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Even
That's
the whole idea came up as a joke in the first place. It was like, oh, we should take it formal. So it's like,
It's cute that you call it a formal dance too.
yeah, he did call it a formal dance. Yes, it was one evening in a church basement. It would have been fucking magical.
Where we all wore the bags from the inside of box wine on our backs and just sucked away the night.
Good to go.
Lord,
Yeah, it would have been bad.
So we have a slew of listener comments. I'm just gonna rattle these off one by one. If they're flowing, I'll get through all of them. If not, we'll just save some for next week. But this is from LBJ in the Forbidden Shower. This is where Lyndon Johnson requested a particular shower stream or pulsating shower stream that hit his junk off TikTok. Beautiful Disaster writes, and I didn't know this, LBJ is known for having a large member. LOL. Guess he used it to intimidate visitors. Had a name for it too. I didn't know.
I do know he'd like to wear tight pants.
Okay.
So I probably to show it off a little bit.
Right.
And he notoriously had to let the seam, the middle seam of his pants, he always had to have them tailored. So that seems to check out, man.
But you want your head of state to be fucking packing, man.
Just speaking of head of state,
That's
down
right.
here.
Yeah, the jokes could be endless. Heat Dome on Instagram. This is the we were talking about slang in 2023. Stuber29 writes, "We talking about the Heat's home arena?" I found that clever.
I did too. I kind of chuckled at that one, and then I watched the clip, and I was like, "That's a funny clip."
That's right. Hitler bait and switch on YouTube. Esoteric76 writes, "Just sounds like it was ironic, to be honest." That was where, remember, they were gonna give Hitler a Nobel Prize, and then they said it was like, oh, we were joking around.
I genuinely think that there were some people that were in that era that were sympathetic to what Hitler was doing, and were like, if he wins, maybe I'll curry some favor by putting his little nomination in the hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if Hitler wins, I'll be seen as favorable.
Yes. Yes.
He'll show mercy on me.
Yeah, because he was just promoting peace. That's why I put you on the list. Remember?
Left lane drivers. This is a short. We've had it on a few mediums. This comes via YouTube. Tom C 4860 writes, "I never understood these idiots that break the speed limit. If the speed limit is 70 and you're in the left lane doing 70, then what is wrong with you?" It's kind of like more preaching to the choirs as to what we're talking about. And then I think it's Scott Teddy 2185. He must be he must follow us on YouTube, because he says, "Wow, I couldn't agree more. We need eugenics badly."
Eugenics sounds great until you figure out who's doing the picking.
Yeah. It's really all about who's doing the picking. Let's be real.
Do I have humility on YouTube? Gingerbread Actual 1249 writes, "My ex told me the printer ran out of ink cartridge." Take that in.
Oh, Jesus.
Lastly, there's a few of these. It's coming from Overrated Burger in Paradise on our YouTube. I mean, there's probably a half a dozen of these.
God, I'm sure we got roasted for some of this.
Me Jane 4210 writes, "Jay Buffett was a great storyteller. A lot of his songs were kind of hokey, but he had a lot of really good songs. Any Wood could sing along. I've been over to a dozen of his concerts in 20 years. There's always a good time. I'm bummed out I won't get to another one of his concerts. R.I.P. JB."
It's fair. I mean, it's a really serious lady, but okay. I assume
Mike-
it's a lady.
Mike Akio writes, "I went to 10 Buffett shows by the time I was 20. My first one when I was 5. Cheeseburger in Paradise is just overplayed, and he has way more good music besides the songs you know by heart." He just quotes the
I don't doubt
album,
that.
which is his best hits.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad song. It's just not the best song to put up on the top of his list. Check out the A1A side B if you want to hear some good songs, Buffett.
I was the one actually championing Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Where it is just an
right.
overrated song. But yes.
Never in the charts, barely played on the radio. How is it overrated? Writes Bfran
What are you
1977.
talking about? Barely on the radio. Listen to like a classic rock station ever.
I'm pretty sure they play it like every hour on the hour on Light 102. Like Fran in the Nightlight. Like
Every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's fucking things on.
yeah, it might not have gotten like Billboard acclaim, but that shit's on all the time.
Yeah. There's a few other ones I'm going to skip over that kind of like hit the same thing about it. That and Margaritaville kind of being, overplayed, but he has a huge catalog. Yeah. Lastly, Wally Rose 4380 writes, "How much money have you made?" You're joking. It's always got to be an ad hominem attack.
It's always a fucking 60-pluser being like, "How much? Why are you arguing about athletes? They make millions. They don't care about you."
We shitting on Jimmy Buffett. He made billions. How about you?
Person.
You're right. I'm not a talented songwriter. I'm just a somewhat talented, gifted gab banterer.
I don't know. If somebody was like, "Hey, why don't you write a song about a cheeseburger in paradise?" It would probably be exactly what the fuck he wrote. I'm not gonna lie to you. So,
Well, I did I saw an interview with Mark McGrath, the Sugar Ray. I just want to fly, and he hated that song. He thought he was going to quit the band over that song, and they finally just convinced him, like, just record it. We'll see what happens. And he's like, fuck me, it fucking came out and blew the charts away and yada, yada, yada. And he's like, it's DGC. He's like, I'll tell you the 3 chords. Paul McCartney will tell you the 3 chords. Good luck. Have fun. See what happens. He's like, songwriting's fucking the hardest thing in the universe to make a living doing.
Man, song got popular. I got herpes from having a sick son with 5 dime pieces. Bummer.
Yeah, well, if you do, just for research, go find the album that Fly is on and try to figure out why that song is on the album.
Oh, does it stick out?
Oh, it's the Sugar Ray was a hard rock metal band.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, track 6 comes along. It's like, bigga, 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 what you want? What you want? All around the world, people for me. Yeah. Yeah.
I think Fish needs to do a cover.
Over a weekend at the Gorge. Yeah. At a farm in upstate Vermont.
Oh. All right. I think that's about all the time we have for tonight. Starting the new month, we'll get you a good, bad movie review coming up in the next few weeks, as well as the Middle Class Holes Badass of the Month. We've already selected it. Some young prick who took a shot to the head. And I don't mean a shot of mayonnaise or a shot of cum. I mean a shot from a firearm and then attended 4 parties afterwards. Stay tuned for that. Stick around. Stay tuned for it next week, or the following week. I don't know, sometime.
Just let your device continue to play for another 7 days. We promise it's coming up.
I'm getting perpetually worse at these sign-offs. I haven't found my mojo yet on how to say goodbye. Good night.